Good morning, everyone. Today we're checking out a brand new video from Kanye X of him finally fixing, in quotes, the Hope Armor Digivolutions. Let's hop in and check them out.
When's armor fixing coming back? Aren't you forgetting a series? So we're just not doing armor fixing anymore? Yes, we are. It's today. Jeez.
Some people are impatient, man.
What is up, digital companions? My name is Kanye X, and welcome back to another video. Yes, we are returning, as I said we always would. Remember, these things cost money and take time to fixing, quote unquote, the Armor Digi-Eggs. And today it is the turn of the Hope Armor Digi-Eggs, or Hope Armor Digimon. As a reminder, this series is called Fixing because it's best for the algorithm, but really this is just our takes on Armor Digimon. Trying to make them more like the Armor Digivolutions we saw in the show, chiefly having the rookie or champion in Gatomon's case, body visible underneath and encased with the actual physical material that the Armor Digi-Egg is made up of. For example, in the past, Shadramon, great courage armor. Bormon, while it does have the fire, a lot of elements are missing. And as a reminder, this video was made possible thanks to my
Good Flames. No elements of the egg.
Eva and Sovereigns, as well as basically everyone else who supports me over on patreon.com/KhanEX, and I really do appreciate you all so much. You can sign up for as little as $3 a month to early access to all my videos, and then there are various tiers from there, but the Deva and the Sovereigns directly help pay for custom art in these videos and keep sponsors off these videos, because I think it's important not only to make these videos because it's fun for the fandom, but to continue supporting artists in the Digimon community. I'm never going to start using AI to make any of these videos. I think it's very important that I continue to pay artists who have a love and a passion not just for Digimon but for art in general. So thank you to my Sovereigns in K14, as well as Davis, GW, Hefe Von Coughing, and Murby Studios. I do appreciate you all very much. And we begin with possibly the Armor Digimon outside of 02 that I have remarked upon the most, and that is Sagittariumon. And I stand firmly by the idea that Sagittariumon was not initially designed to be a Hope Armor Digimon, but instead, because of the Sagittarius constellation, they worked him into a different opportunity. Because look at him, he's got the perfect Vmon underbody, but instead of the Digi-Egg of Hope or any real Patamon, Angemon, Pegasusmon elements, I guess aside from the horse, it instead very clearly has elements of the Digi-Egg of Courage and the Digi-Egg of Friendship. Yeah, I just cannot, no matter what anyone tells me, think this was not a scrapped double Armor Digivolution using the Digi-Egg of Courage and Friendship. I think that was intended for 02 at one point or the other, or at least
that would have just been so damn awesome to see
in 02 expanded media. The Sagittariumon does help me illustrate what the changes are going to be and what we're going to actually try to focus on for these Armor Digivolutions. And as Fuzzy Comics, who is now kind of the advisor on these videos alongside me and the artist Dry states, there's a great potential here to really focus in on the Greek mythology of Pegasusmon and the Pegasus constellation and the entire Hope Armor Digivolutions. Especially if we then, when we get around to the light Digi-Eggs, focus in on the Egyptian side of things with Nefertimon, that would create a great balance between the Greek and Egyptian mythologies, while also keeping that constellation or star sign theme. And actually, while Fuzzy is now an advisor due to his busy schedule, we actually do have one last piece of Fuzzy Comics art for this series, one that he did many moons ago before other armor fixing videos took priority. And so while I love Sagittariumon, I love it specifically as a merging of Raydramon and Flamedramon, I would like to present Sagittariumon 2.0, drawn by Fuzzy Comics.
Now that is a Holymon.
And yes, that is what we are looking for. Still very clearly that Vmon body underneath, and not sacrificing any of the Centaur Sagittarius elements of Sagittariumon, but now very clearly encased in the Digi-Egg of Hope, and even getting that kind of like blondish mane, which Pegasusmon also has. From top to bottom, a fantastic redesign. I wouldn't change a single...
And look, the hand, it doesn't have the wheeled two thumbs.
A bit of the lore of Sagittariumon in its Digimon reference book would remain the same, including its relation to Centilmon and its role as a mythical being, but now just so more intrinsically linked to the Digi-Egg of Hope. Next is Hawkmon's Hope Armor, and normally its armor digivolves to Moosemon, and we all agreed that Moosemon is just a miss here. While you could make some oblique connection between Hawkmon's Native American theme and Moose in North America, it felt very loose to us. There is in fact a Moose constellation in Ojibwe, a language and Native American people's culture, but it kind of lacks that Greek mythology basis, so we decided to go a little bit different with it. Not to remove Moosemon, but to provide an alternative. The idea struck us that we could steal Swanmon from Gatomon, since in a previous armor fixing video we replaced it with a parakeet, instead basing the constellation on Cygnus and that idea of Zeus turning into a swan. And so Dry created Cygnumon from Cygnus, that swan constellation. And I think this works fantastically as a Hawkmon armor digivolution. You can very clearly see the Hawkmon elements, but that kind of more holy
Very
vibe
obvious
of the
in the
Digiegg
color.
and Crest of Hope, armoring this swan and making it feel a little bit more grandiose, appropriate given Swanmon's original
I like how it has a belt on the neck.
depiction. So not only have we replaced
Anime
Moosmon here,
belt.
but we've also repurposed Swanmon when we initially didn't use it, and I love that. From top to bottom, a fantastic Hope Armor Digivolution. It still feels like it could be kind of like flying into battle in a similar way to Pegasusmon and Sagittariumon 2.0. Dry just absolutely nailed it. I'm so excited.
Damn right
I
you
love
did.
having Dry on board for these videos. Through the power of song, Signumon calls holy lightning from the sky that smites evil without fail. Because it is the last sound its enemies hear, its special move is called Swan Song. Moving over to Armadillomon's
that.
Hope Armor Digivolution, it is typically Sheepmon. Not a terrible
Oh,
idea, you know,
what?
it's a quadruped armor Digivolution, and sheep do have representation in constellations in things like Aries, or that's really more of a ram, but still, it's not a terrible idea conceptually for a Hope Armor Digivolution. However, we thought, given that we did just give Swanmon to Hawkmon, we also might readdress the balance with Oryxmon or Goatmon, trading
here
a
we go.
sheep for a goat. But also because we could use Oryxmon as a
ram.
play on the constellation Capricorn, because Capricorn is kind of a half goat, half aquatic animal, with that more goat-like
Well, it's literally a goatfish.
front part of its body and the kind of mermaid fishy side to its tail. A great mix of the land animal basis of Digimon like Armadillomon and Keelamon and Digmon, and the aquatic animal in Submarimon. Capricornus is also intrinsically linked with the god Pan, who had goat horns and legs, but in a story saved himself from the monster Typhon by giving himself a fish's tail and diving into a river. So our Greek mythology basis sticks around. And Dry swung for the fences with Capricornmon. And yeah, this is very familiar.
Okay, I wasn't with it first. Now I am. This looks pretty good.
Very similar to Oryxmon. I've always liked Oryxmon because I do feel like it's one of the closer matches to the kind of like double nature of Nefertimon and Pegasusmon. But then when we actually look at Patamon and Gatomon trading Digieggs, we get the pretty great Oryxmon for Gatomon and the pretty terrible Mambomon for Patamon. So repurposing this aquatic goat for Armadillomon works perfectly. Dry has just folded in more of that Armadillomon underbody in a way that I think works really nicely and dialed up the Digiegg elements. You can 100% see, in my opinion, how this could be made as a toy with an Armadillomon underbody and a armored Digiegg top. Capricornmon is a guardian of both forests and rivers. Those with pure hearts are able to pet Capricornmon, which brings them good fortune. But it also has zero tolerance for evil and is quick to headbutt it away with its special move, Tropical Ram. Now, Wormmon with the Digiegg of Hope normally becomes Bullmon, which I think would have worked actually also as an Armadillomon evolution, but I just think is too much of a departure from Wormmon conceptually. Like, yeah, you could say it's a bullworm, I guess. Not actually sure if that's a real thing or just a thing in SpongeBob, actually. So instead, we decided to really go back to page 1 with this one. Trying to think of a new constellation that would work well for Wormmon, and that is when Fuzzy suggested Scorpius, the scorpion that killed Orion. And Orion being such a prominent constellation, a very popular constellation, it's kind of cool that Wormmon with its dark side partnered with the Digimon Emperor in Digimon Adventure 02 would get a constellation with a little bit more of an edge. And scorpions as arachnids are at least similar to bugs and insects, so we can really...
They're all in the arachnid family, even though they don't have the classic 8 legs.
Kind of build on that theme a lot more than we could with Bullmon. And so Dry delivered taking the Scorpius Scorpion idea and combining it together to make Scorpion. Now yes, we do have a Scorpiomon and a Skull Scorpiomon in the dub, but this is Scorpimon or Scorpmon. That's really not the end of the world, given we do have a Terramon, a Tyrannomon, a Garurumon, a Garurumon. It's fine. Maybe we just call it Scormon. So either way, adore how this came together. You can see that Wormmon body prominently underneath, but with his kind of like normal wormy claws turned into proper spiking stingers. The Armor Digiegg firmly in place with the Crest of Hope, and even the little wings on the tail, which I think is a lovely nod. Especially because Wormmon already has those kind of like pincers on the end of his tail. I think this is just a natural evolution for him. It's so well done. Scorpmon is a nocturnal Digimon that stays vigilant against evil lurking in the shadows. Once it locks onto an enemy, Scorpmon can detach and shoot its powerful stinger, Orion Hook, with terrifying accuracy. And finally, that brings us to Gatomon. As we discussed previously, Oryxmon, while an okay fit, we thought worked better for Armadillomon. But we still want to make Gatomon's Hope Armor Digivolution feel like it could be a counterpart to Pegasusmon somewhat, while also working in future when we do the Digiegg of Light evolutions. We want all of these to be matching pairs in somehow. We immediately jump to the idea of Leo being a great constellation to base Gatomon's Armor Digiegg of Hope evolution on, because of the obvious Leomon Digimon Adventure reference, but also because, you know, lions are big cats. Dry struggled a little little bit with this one, wanting to keep a Lion or Leo constellation basis, but while also making it feel a little bit more unique from Nefertimon, but still somewhat a counterpart to Pegasusmon, which is when Dry was struck with the idea, what if Pegasusmon's Hope counterpart in Gatomon was the rider of the horse? Which is when Dry led into making Gatomon's armor a Leonine warrior inspired by the Nemean lion from the labors of Hercules.
Now
the
that's
hide
gonna
of
be
said
good.
lion only being able to be pierced by its own claws. It also gave Dry the fun challenge to make a female or feminine Leomon, which we've done a couple of times in custom art videos. It's never really been seen in official Digimon media. And so we present Leonismon, Gatomon's Hope Armor Digivolution, getting its name from Leonis, the sort of suffix that stars in the Leo constellation get, such as Epsilon Leonis, Mu Leonis, Zeta Leonis, and so on. And this is why I love making these Armor Digivolution videos, because we get something unique for Gatomon, still kind of going bipedal-like evolutions like Angelwomon, but also feeling really new, calling back to Digimon like Leomon, who was so important for Digimon Adventure, and still being both a constellation and Greek myth inspiration, all while doing something kind of fresh, and keeping those Armor Digi-Egg and Gatomon underbody parts completely preserved. I absolutely love this. Leonismon is an ancient warrior of myth that rides on the back of Pegasusmon into their war against darkness. The only way to pierce this Digimon's armor is with its own weapon, the Nemean Spear, which is rumored to be made from the data of a prehistoric beast. And that is it. All of our new, fixed, upgraded, reimagined Hope Armor Digivolutions. Sagittariumon 2.0 by Fuzzy Comics, and then by Dry, Signumon, Capricornmon, Scorpmon, and Leonismon. Thank you to—
If I had to pick just one of them to put at the top, I'm sorry, I have to go with Scorpiomon. I love Scorpiomon. And I love Wormmon just in general. He's a good little guy, I'd like him as a friend. But my partner would definitely be Gilmon, 10,000%.
To the phenomenal artists for making this video possible, go follow them on their socials, and thank you to my Davers and my Sovereign, ZDK14, for making this video possible. I really do appreciate you all so much, and I appreciate all my channel members too. If you want to support this channel on Patreon or on YouTube, it would mean the absolute world to me, as you can see, and it helps make more videos like this possible. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye-bye.
Alright everyone, that's going to be the end of today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all of y'all next time when we flick back on. Until then, this is Fox, signing out. Peace.